Hello there, it's Adam Scott Campbell with Drawn Through once again, and I am here to talk today with you about something that a few things that are very important to me, things that help me and also help others. My hope is that they help others as well. Uh, so to get into it, I think we're all given, I know we're all given things we like and things we enjoy doing. I also know that we're each given talents, gifts, um, when we enter this life. And for those who don't know, I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter day Saints. My belief system, part of my belief system, is that before this life, we all were in heaven with our Heavenly Father, and we were given, each of us were given a talent or talents that we would need to develop moving forward, both in the pre-existence, as we call it, the life before this one, or and this life, this mortal life that we're living now. Um, so, so one of the talents that I've been given, um, one of the talents that I've been given is performing. I really enjoy being in front of a crowd, and whether it's music that I'm utilizing as the medium to touch people's hearts, or if it's a speech that I'm giving, or it's poetry that I'm spouting at the mic of some open mic thing. Any of these things I really like to perform. Something else is I like to create. Um, I like to create, especially I like doing art. I enjoy painting. I enjoy drawing. I enjoy that kind of thing, sketching. But for me, the biggest avenue that I've had for creating is that of writing creatively, short stories, poetry, my novel, um, that I'm working to get published. But so so put those together. I love to share what I've created with other people, and I especially love when I'm given the opportunity to write something, usually poetry, to someone who really needs it in the moment. And those are very special moments, very cherished moments. I call them stellar life moments. I've talked about my stellar life moments list on my YouTube channel. But um, anyway, it's so um, you know I'm the creating piece of it is that I'm pretty much compulsed. Compulsed, that's not a word. I'm compelled to write things, create things, words, out of the stuff that I've experienced, the hard things that I've gone through. It is really great. It's a really great um, ground from which to grow uh, words up from the heart, and so it's easier to I'm part of the reason I'm doing these YouTube videos and putting them on Facebook and other places is that my hope is that I become as good at speaking as I am at writing. And so here I am. This is all non-scripted, by the way. This is not practiced, and probably you already know that. But anyway, so creating and performing together, and the purpose of using those things is to help someone with what they're dealing with, because that's what I need. And so and everybody's dealing with something or many somethings. And today's world, it's a rather flavorful existence. And so I'm going to share a story of something that happened. I was at a writers group night, and we were all just going to discuss what it would mean to have the group, you know, meet regularly. And I never went back to the group, but there was something that happened um, that night at the restaurant or bar and grill that we were at, and I was really in awe afterwards of what had happened. So I'm sitting there and I'm listening with half an ear to the my fellow writers talk about their craft and etc. etc. While I was half listening, I was also having the thought to write in the moment at that moment, and I had the itch to write. And if you're a creator, you know what it's like uh, to have that itch, of whatever your medium of creation is. So I pull out some paper and my pen, uh, and I start writing. And I decided to write a poem to our waitress. Uh, she may have been a waitress, but she was our liaison with the food area of the place, our waitress. So um, I wrote her this poem, and I wrote about. I don't remember what I wrote, and oftentimes, usually when I write poems to specific people in the moment, I never keep a copy of it because then I have to write it twice, right? So I write this poem to her, and if I recall, it was basically telling her that she was of great worth, to God, um, and she was of eternal worth, and that's another part of my belief system, is that we're all of eternal worth, and it has no end, and we have unlimited potential and also unlimited a glorious destiny ahead, and so so I read her this poem, and I hand it to her when she comes over one of the times, and she says thank you, and she goes and reads it. She comes back to me, or I think I got up and just went over her because I think I needed to use the restroom. But she thanked me for the poem, and um, she said something like, she said something really touching and meaningful, like I think it was just, you know, like I you were sent to me or something like that, um, and I said no problem. So I went, so did the thing and went back to the table and decided to write another poem, which isn't usual. Usually I write one person one poem and then that's it, and usually I don't see the person ever again when it's on the spot. But I wrote her a second poem, and eventually I brought that to her, and she read it, and she just told me in the moment, she said, this is exactly what I've been needing to hear, and um, thank you so much for writing this for me. And then she shared something else. She said that she told me that God had been sending her messages, but the challenge was she didn't believe in God. And I've thought about that since. There's all kind of logistics that I could think about with that, but like how do you know that you're getting a message from God without believing that you don't believe in God? So I'm like, how does that work? But I didn't think about that at the time. But a thought came to me, and I just spoke it to her. I just said, you know, um, maybe God is trying to tell you something. That was my thought. Maybe He's trying to tell you something, and for whatever reason, um, those weren't my. I didn't plan on saying that, but it was just a thought that I had, and so I spoke it, and she got teary, had to step away. I finished with the group, and I was leaving the place, and I'm sure she went to the bathroom or something to clean herself up or something like that, and then she glanced up when I was leaving, and I looked back at her, and I smiled, and she waved, and I waved back, and it was just one of those moments. It's just one of those moments that you don't forget, and you're touched by it yourself, and others are touched, and sometimes for me, I find that being vulnerable is key to touching other hearts and lives, because if you're a rock, you can't do that. So anyway, thought for the day, and it's Adam Scott Campbell with John Through. Keep yourself open. Thanks again.